Okay, guys, it looks like it's 2 o'clock, so welcome everyone. Glad to see you guys here for step 4. So far, we have gone through a lot through these steps 1 through 3 so far. What we have done is really gone through most of the most important things like contacts. We've gone through opportunities and smart plans. We've gone over ad campaigns. So if anyone does have any questions, I will say that next week on Friday is going to be a different format where we're going to be going through everything over again, and then we're going to have time for questions and answers. So if you do have any questions that you've been building and you've not had a chance to get to the Command Genius bar or call the Command hotline, please get on next Friday, because we're going to be doing more of a question and answer and going repeating everything, a little review. But today we're going to go over 3 more applets that we are part of Command, and those today that we're going to be going over are going to be, the first one being referrals, which is right down here. Referrals in regards to lead generation through building a Keller Williams network. We're also going to go through listings, which a lot of us have not gone through listings before. I know I haven't really taught listings to many of you guys. So we're going to be going through listings because this is what gives you access to every single MLS in the country. And yes, this is what Command provides you with. You have the ability to go through every single MLS in the country, which pretty much makes you an agent anywhere. You can be looking at homes that are active, have sold anywhere in the country. And the last thing we're going to be doing, we're going to be going through today in regards to applets is going to be designs. And that's where you build your social posts, you can build emails, you can build your listing and buyer presentations. So if you guys are ready to go, let's get started with referrals being our first applet that we're going to be going into today. So I'm going to go ahead and click referrals right there. And that is the 5th icon down on the left side. And again, if you are ever lost, you can always hit that red button up there and it opens up. You'll see that referrals is here. It does open up on your dashboard, but the place where I want to start in referrals is the map. The map, the reason I'm going to start on the map is this is where you can see every agent with Keller Williams that is in production right now. Let's say I want to see who is in production in my hometown of, and you probably have never heard of this, but it's Winnetka, California. If it's in there. Not in there. Okay. I'm going to put Canoga Park then. See if that one comes up. Again, doesn't come up. That is interesting. But that is my old hometown. It's actually in Los Angeles. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up Los Angeles right here. Los Angeles, pulling it up here, and we're going to zoom into that part of Los Angeles where I used to live. And it is right over here. It's the San Fernando Valley, very much known for right now for the Kardashians that live in Calabasas, but you know, we have a lot more culture than that there. So what I'm going to do is, now that I'm in Los Angeles, I'm going to zoom into my part of town where I used to live. And I don't know if you guys are already on the track where I'm going on here, is because the reason I say that you are an agent anywhere in the country is because you have access to all these agents that are working in places where your friends and family live. So I still have friends and family that live right over here in Winnetka, Canoga Park, and I can now have communications with any of these agents whenever one of my family or friends need a real estate agent. So I can actually zoom in to my part of town, and I keep zooming in, just taking a look at my part of town right here. This was it right here. And I can actually see which are the agents that are coming up. As I zoom in, every single green dot that you see on the map is a Keller Williams agent that has completed a transaction. And as I highlight over them, you can see that people start highlighting highlighting on the right side. Julie Newman right there. She is an agent out of Calabasas, and this is her transaction right here. So what I am doing is having conversations with my family and friend and telling them whenever they're in the market to buy or sell a home, please contact me right away, because I can get you the best agent that's going to sell you your property for the highest amount. Reason is because they're in the Keller Williams network and they're going to get that high price for you. And I'm going to actually interview some of these agents for you and pick the right one for you so that you will get your goal of your home being sold. And in turn, I come in here and find those agents in here. And when I see this list of agents here, these are all the agents that have these little green dots right here in the screen in this area right here. I can actually filter out agents. For example, if I wanted to filter out agents that were in mastery, there are do luxury, commercial, land, expansion. I can also pick how many units they've sold, listings sold, buy side, leases. I could do all of that. I can also, on this, it's set to random sort. I can also sort this by first, last name. I could sort it by closed units, listings sold, buy sides. So let me do it by closed units. That's a good way to filter it out. Now I know that out of this screen, Richard Schumann is the one that has the most number of transactions in this area, followed by Nico De Leon and also Stephanie Vidacaccio. So what I can do is now start reaching out to these agents and start forming relationships with them. I could send, by clicking this button right here with looks like a little guy with a plus sign. What that does is it sends an invitation to Nico and says, hey Nico, can you join my Keller Williams network? And because I have family and friends that live in the area where you are closing units, and I want to make sure that my family and friends have a strong realtor that they can work with. And in turn, if you ever have someone that is moving to Dallas, please make sure to contact me right away. What did I just do? I just formed a connection with someone, and they're going to be part of my network so that I can communicate with Nico whenever I need to send something over to them. That way, I then get a cut of that deal. I get 25% or whatever you charge to Nico in regards to that transaction. And when I am ready to send a transaction, that's the button over here where I'm going to send a referral over to Nico. So what did I just do there? I am doing lead generation, but I'm doing lead generation with everyone that I know, just not the people here in North Texas. Let me show you something else on this screen. If I keep getting in further in, this little button right here will turn from gray to actually light up here. This is going to broadcast a referral to everyone on this map right here and say, hey, I have a referral and this is the terms of the referral. I'm not going to give you my client's information yet, but I want you to tell me why you should be that agent that I send this referral over to. So I can click broadcast referral and give all the information about the transaction without releasing the information about who the client is. Get then an email from each of these agents about why they should be the agent of choice. And then once I've chosen, and I've spoken to several of them, I can then release the information over, and then it's tracked right here inside a command. So this is an important tool for you guys to be using in addition to every other applet inside a command. Let me show you some more things on the map feature right here, because maybe I don't want to look at just production. Maybe I want to look at different market centers. I can now look at the different market centers in an area. I'm going to zoom out just here, if they actually show up. So it seems like it's not showing up here in Los Angeles, but oh, there we go. Here we go, so that I can see all the different market centers and the agents that work in those market centers. So this is the Encino Sherman Oaks. Over here is the Calabasas Market Center. and I can see all the different agents that are inside of those market centers. And then maybe I can communicate with those market centers if I want to send over those referrals to actually speak to the team leader and see who is their strong agents in that office there. Let me also show you another thing on this map. Now I can also show you my network. So once you start adding people to your network, then you can actually see, oh, I already have Sandy Segovia right here. She's out of the Encino Sherman Oaks Market Center. She's already part of my network. So that's actually my agent of choice whenever I'm going to be sending things over, because we've already made that connection, and I want to be sending people that are in my network, that are communicating with me, and that want to conduct business and form those relationships. Last thing I want to show you, which is really a great tool, and this is Referral Patterns. Referral Patterns shows you the migration of people throughout the country. Right now, it's set to people moving away from the Dallas, North Texas area, but this is sent. If I click over to received, these are referrals being sent in from all over the country that are showing where people are moving from. This is important because it shows you where you need to start making connections with people, because there are people migrating from Atlanta, from Chicago, from Colorado, from Los Angeles, from San Antonio, from Austin, from Houston, that are moving to the Plano area. Why do you need to make relationships with those cities? Because these are people that are relocating, and they probably are unrepresented right now. They don't know who they're looking for. So when you are making relationships, you can actually contact those agents over there and start forming relationships in Chicago and Atlanta. In addition, you can also, with your campaign ads, those ads that you do for your listings, you can actually start doing ads, brand ads, to people in those cities. You can do ads in Atlanta, you could do ads in Chicago, and why don't you do an ad that sounds something like this? Are you relocating to Plano, Texas? Do you know about the great opportunities with jobs, housing, and with great lifestyle? Click Learn More for more information about the great neighborhoods and the opportunity to buy inexpensive homes. Doesn't that sound pretty good to someone that's relocating from Chicago and has no clue of where and how to start searching for a home in Plano? And then you're providing them that insight, and then they're going to use you as their realtor of choice. So think of this when you are doing your ads out there, and maybe even advertising some homes in these different areas, so that you can start picking up people that are relocating from all these different areas. And we know that there are people relocating every day. If from the time that I moved here in 2007 to now, you know that this city has grown exponentially, and that's from all the jobs that are moving here. So you can take advantage of those buyers that are moving here. So, and at the same time, you can be working with new listings, because you can show to your listing, your people that you are listing homes, this great tool. You can say, I know where people are moving from, and I'm going to advertise your home in these cities too, so that I can make sure that your home gets the most amount of coverage of people that are relocating here too, not just buyers that are in this city. Doesn't that sound like an amazing tool? So guys, what questions do you have right now? Anyone have a question for me? I know that this is probably stuff that you guys haven't dived in there yet, but I want you to make sure that you are diving in. Oh, Tommy, you said, when you say ads, do you mean the Facebook ads? Yes, that is when you're doing those Facebook ads, you may want to be targeting just not where the house is located, but you can be targeting to place these ads in these cities too, because you are not limited on your Facebook ads of where you're going to target to. You can target it to any of these cities. So if you are listing an executive home in Frisco, isn't it good to be maybe targeting cities like San Jose or Los Angeles, where some of these executives are actually moving from, and actually showing this listing to them? And that's another way of getting more eyes on that home. So that's one of those things on your Facebook ads. You want to be putting other cities on there too to get more coverage. Any other questions, guys?
Eddie, I had a question as far as the advertising, the ads that go out. Can you be specific in those, like Chicago, for example?
Yes, you can be as specific. So let me actually show you guys that. I'm going to go into a campaign real quick. And this is probably the best way of doing it when you are actually in your paid ads. Let me just pull one up here. Like this home right here in Forest Hills. I advertised this in Dallas. But what I can do is once I'm running this one in Dallas, what I come over here is go to duplicate campaign. And when I duplicate, I want to click duplicate and customize. And so everything that I've already built in the ad is ready to go. All I have to do is now go down to the Facebook ad right here and configure this right here. And then instead of having it targeted to Dallas, I get rid of that. And then maybe I put Chicago, Illinois. And now I run this ad in Chicago also. So I can be targeting it over there too. Maybe I want to make a little changes to the text, and I'm free to do that, but I'm targeting this ad too in different places, just not in the place where the home is listed.
Got it. That's helpful. Thanks, Eddie.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions, guys? Okay, so let me get back into referrals real quick because I want to show you some of the other screens in here just because I was on maps first here. So I want to show you also your network. So as you start building your network of people, you're going to see them all listed here. All these different people that are in my network that have, you probably have received some of them. They've been sending you invitations. This is so that you can have a list of all your network, and then you can also add tags to them. So who are these people? Who are you going to refer them to? Are they your favorites too? And that way you can easily see all the people that are in your referral network. And then you do have a tab for any referrals that you've either sent or received so that you can be seeing all of them right here. Here's one that I have done right here that was funded. It was one that I sent to Hallie Armstrong for one of my, it was actually a past client of mine who her mother was moving in Wichita, Kansas. And I actually did I contacted Hallie by going through the map screen, and I interviewed her, and I sent this over, and I tracked it all through here on this screen here to make sure that it got funded. And then you can also see any ones that are pending, active, lost, expired. So you may be receiving, probably want to see here because I've actually received some here. So these are ones that I have received here of referrals that I have not responded to. And I probably should be responding to these because I could be working with other agents throughout in Akron. I could be working in Edmond, Ontario here, 2 of them right there. So this is where you need to start working with other agents in this country. And we all know that the more you interact with other agents, the more referrals that you are going to get. Does anyone have any stories about working with referrals just to help our other agents on here? I know, Tommy, that you've talked about that before in the past, about that you have formed a lot of relationships with people, then they have sent you referrals?
Yeah, I learned it from actually Dick as well as Mary Harker, that when you go to a family reunion and so forth, you need to farm the referral base of these agents as much as you farm your sphere of influence. Because what happens here is that they might not have a direct referral coming from that agent, but if they're a producing agent, maybe a rookie walks up and says, "Hey, Eddie, do you know anybody in Dallas, Texas?" Says, "Yes, I do." And that's where the referrals come from, primarily. So you look at my phone calls on a daily basis, and I call these people 4 times a year, voicemails, video text, or whatever, and it's just another source of income.
Yep, it is. It's just another source of income. And remember, that is how you become a successful agent, is you find every source of income that works for you, not just one source of income. Because if you are just relying on one source of income, if that source dries up, what happens? There it is. You're done. So you need to be working all these different sources of income. Yeah, Charles.
Hey, Eddie. I just used this applet and this process that you went through this week for Los Angeles, sending a referral out to Los Angeles. One of my clients that we did some business here, he wants to buy a property there. He said, hey, do you know of someone that could help me out here? Went through this process, talked to a couple of agents, and then sent the referral out there, just the way that you did it.
Yeah, and it was easy, right?
Very easy.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, you need to be doing this. You need to be, and just another thing, speak to your investors. Who are your investors? If your investors are looking for properties, not just here in North Texas, are they looking for properties in Houston, properties in Austin, all this different, and you can be helping them that way too. And let me show you this next tool, because this is going to lead me into this next tool for you guys. And it's going to be down here, this applet right here called listings. When I click this applet called listings, this has just recently actually gone live. It's been in labs for most of last year and a part of this year. But when you click listings, it's actually first going to pull up your listings right here. And these are my listings right here. It's pulling them up. It's showing which ones are active, which ones are pending. Great. This is great information right here. But this right here, where you go to listing search, this actually pulls up all those different MLSs I've been talking about. So let's say that I wanted to look in Los Angeles. So now I'm going to type in Los Angeles, California. And now I'm going to be pulling up all the listings in Los Angeles. It's going to be working on them. It's tons of them it's going to be pulling up here. But I can actually zoom into any of these neighborhoods right here, wherever. And these in Los Angeles, it's broken up by zip codes. So I can look up into, let's say I want to look right in Simi Valley. Everyone knows about Simi Valley. Right there, it's where Ronald Reagan's presidential library is. It's a great neighborhood for people looking for a suburban life while they're still close to the Los Angeles, big city. And here I can pull up every single home, and you can see exactly why I moved away from Los Angeles when you start seeing some of the prices of these homes right here that are getting about to $1 million right here. And this is $1 million home. I'll pull it up in West Hills right here. $1 million home right here that is built in 1981. It's 2,600 square feet. And I'll tell you that this is not anywhere luxurious neighborhood in California here. So you can see this, that I can pull up all this information right here. And the great thing is I can actually filter out not just active, I can filter out sold data too. So I can actually be pulling up sold information. Does anyone see why this is important, that you can be pulling up sold information anywhere in the country? I'll throw it out for you guys. Anyone can tell me why sold data is so important?
Make sure that transaction closed for your referral fee.
Well, that too, but isn't that exactly what Zillow wants? And you have it all. You have all the sold data in the country. You have it at your fingertips. This is the only software that provides that to you. And guess how much, think about the cost of having access to every single MLS in the country. Think of that cost, and you have it right here. That's how powerful this is, that you have all this information right here inside a command. That's the power of this. And you have all the photos in here. I can pull up every single photo of everything that's active. So when I'm helping my clients that want to buy a home in West Hills, I can pull all that up right there for them. and I can be doing CMAs. Yes, I'm not the expert of this area, and I will never do the paperwork for this, but that's why you form those referral networks, so that you can have that agent of choice that's going to go open the door and write the contract for you. But you could have actually found the home for them. And does that actually mean that if you found the home for them and you did all that research, doesn't that mean that you can actually take a bigger cut of that referral? Possibility. If you've done a lot of the work, you can actually asking more for a referral right there. So this is why I want you guys to be working through this listing. Just play around with it, see how it works, because this is a powerful tool. And here is that filters that I was telling you. So when I want to filter out bedrooms and I want to pull up the listing classification, whether it is active, if it's sold, I can do that all right here. So you guys work through this, look at it, because this is important tool for you guys to have this access. And this is also, I'm talking about the whole country, but this gives you access also here to look, instead of using the MLS, you can be doing the searches right through here for any of your clients too. So if, yeah, question?
Can you set up a search for your client using this, or is this only for us to be able to search?
Right now it's only for search, but it will, in the future, will allow you to set up searches for your clients.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, this was just released, so this is brand new information here. So they will be working with this to make this a bigger tool than it is right now. Any other questions, guys? So if not, we are going to turn a corner here and we're going to go into designs. I don't know how they interact, but we're going right into designs right now. So let's go ahead and click that applet right here for designs right here. So designs, this is your tool for being creative. And I know the second most hated word in the world after technology is being creative. I know, I'm sorry, but this is where you can be creative here. It is a tool that is similar to Canva if you have ever used it in the past. The exception of this is that this was built ground up and gives you access to the MLS so that you can pull photos and also listing information so that you can create different things. When you go into design applets, this screen right here is all the different templates that you have created, everything that you have already worked on and that you've already built in some capacity is on the screen right here. And you can actually filter them out. So if I want to just see the email ones, my landing pages. One thing about this is if you ever create web pages or agent site pages, they're over here. This is where you actually go and make edits to them. You don't go make edits in the consumer app. You do need to make edits over here. Like for example, if I wanted to edit my app web page, I would go to that one right there. It will pull it up, and then I can pull up the tool where I designed my web page for the app. So just wanted to point that out for you guys. Let me get out of this real quick again. And so forth, like social posts and videos right there. So this button right down here at the bottom, this plus sign, is where you start for any new template that you want to design. Because these are going to be templates that you can utilize later on and just do small modifications to continue working on them. Like for example, if you create a social post for a new listing, you can always go back to the social post instead of having to create it all over again and then just put the new picture and the new data in there. But let's go and create one brand new. So we're going to go first here to the plus. And the first one that I want to go over is video. And some of you may have seen this right around family reunion. They created these videos for you that you can use as a marketing tool about a neighborhood. So let's say I wanted to make one about a neighborhood. Let me say it is Magnolia. Let's see if it comes up here. Let's see if it does come up. You do have to have the specific neighborhood that you are looking for. Let me type Fort Worth. There it is right there, Magnolia May, Fort Worth. So I'm going to click that one there and hit next. Next thing it's going to do is it says, what is the actual name if I wanted to change this? So I'm going to actually call it Magnolia Avenue District, Fort Worth. And if you haven't been down there, it's a street kind of like Greenville Avenue that's just been redeveloped and has a lot of restaurants and live entertainment. It's right in the medical district right there. So then it already has pulled in the average home price right here of the area, what our prices on the rise, and yes, they are. And then average price per square foot, average price per foot is holding steady. Number of homes for sale are 6, and average days on the market says 87, but that's because of new construction. But the great thing about this is that you can actually know, if you know the data, you can go in there and change it. And I do know the data. It's about actually 15 days right there that they're on average in that neighborhood right there. And then already it has what people are saying about it. It's artsy, it's a coffee culture, and people are into gardening. But maybe I don't want into gardening as one of the choices there. I can actually go in right here and pick all the ones that I want. So I did like artsy. I'm going to pick that one there. I'm going to go down here, and then it is a dog lover. And also I'm going to pick that it is, one second. Ew. Sorry, I am ruining my screen here and going into the background here. And I am going to say that it is hops and brews. That actually sounds pretty much like that. Then I'm going to go right down here. It already has my information. I'm just going to take this director of technology up here and just focus on being a realtor. It already has my brokerage information right here. So I'm going to hit next. And just like that, it's going to start generating this video that I can use for ads that I can post on Facebook, or actually I can put them into emails. I can send this out to my database, or if I want to be sending this out to leads that are coming in to from a listing that I have down there. And then all I do is hit play, and you'll let it go for you guys. You can see how I put 15 days. There it is, 15 days, because I altered that. And then I picked what people were saying in the neighborhood. And then it ties it into your app. So I can then put an advertisement of download my app for more information about neighborhoods just like this. And here's the link to my app. And there you go. You've just built a great ad that's going to get attention. And you can have, it's only 1 minute. So you can actually probably put this ad on both Instagram and Facebook, since Instagram you do have to have shorter videos on there. So you can do this on both platforms, and you can be having a link to your downloading your app, and also all your information for contacting you. So it's a great way to create other types of medium, being creative, and this is all helpful for you guys so that you can get this completed right there. So let me go ahead and hit X right there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to this time do a social post. Now this is probably the one that we're probably going to be using the most for social posts, because when you are actually doing your Facebook ads, you might want to take some of your pictures and add things to your pictures on them. You could do things, and they have all this template library for you available. So they have ones that are for apps, They have ones for listings, for sale, just listed. And if it's just listed, you have options for Facebook, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, and Twitter, so that you can do them all in the recommended shape for those particular social ads. What I will tell you is, this doesn't mean that you can only use the Instagram. You'll see actually that there's a few more on the Instagram. If there's one that you like on the Instagram one, all it is going to be square, and you can still use a square on Facebook. It doesn't mean that these are only the ones that you can use on Facebook. You can use any of them. It's just the shape, really. It's just formatted in the shape of what those social platforms like in regards to uploading photos. You can also do ones for price updates, neighborhood snaps. These are great ones here, the neighborhood snaps, so that you can send a snapshot of a neighborhood. And actually, I'm going to do one of these for you. I'm just going to go through all of these real quick, though. There's an open house one, under contract, just sold, local expert right there. All these different ones right here. Local expert, you can do things about interest rates, and you can talk about trends of your of a certain neighborhood that you want to advertise about. You have buyer ones too here. Keller Mortgage ones too, so you can do ads about Keller Mortgage. You can do lead generation ones to get people for just search on your website. Home value ones, do you know the value of your home? So these are great ones if you're running ads inside of Facebook to try to lead capture people about home value. You can start using some of these ads right here as the pictures right there. And you can do probably 1, 2, or 3 pictures in there. There's holiday greeting ones too, that again, these are for Facebook, but I could actually download these and insert them in emails too. They're just to make pictures. So if ever I wanted a happy new year one, maybe we're all ready for 2021, right? So I can already start advertising about 2021. We can't wait for that. There's client love ones here. And then just want to show you as you go down, there's also this last one here, templates, if I can get there. These are the new designs that are at the very bottom. They're new designs that have just come out that are really fun. There's like a gift challenge ones, check out this home. I actually like this one in particular. It's about how you can do a social distance road trip. Let me pull that one up real quick, where you can actually post this on and say, let me know what your answers are for what would you choose as your social distance road trip? Would you want to go to a private beach house, a secluded campsite, hidden lake house, or transportation? What would be your snacks and what would be your tunes? You can make a fun post like this and design it. It's already built for you. So really, all I would have to do here is actually change out the DBA logo right here, and I'll show you how you change that out. All I did was click on it. I went over here to logos, and then here I have the Keller Williams Plano one. I can actually go just like that and hit replace logo. And then what I'm going to do is just put it right in the correct space. And if I had to size it or anything, but there it is, ready to go. All I have to do now that I've done this is maybe I did want to put maybe my phone number or something like that. If I did want to put my phone number or my name, I could go right here and hit text box and pick the size. I'll pick that one. And then I'll just have to go in here, and the best way to do that is just to click on it. Oops, I am going too far now. Let me go back. And hit this little typewriter up here. When I hit this typewriter, it actually opens this up so that I can then go Eddie Grass, 972-742-9242, hit Save Changes. Now that phone number is right there in that little text box, and all I have to do is put it right down here at the bottom, and I'm done. That's how easy it was. It was just to put a text box in. I could put shapes, I could put frames, I could put a drawing in, but now that it's done, all I have to do now is first thing, it might be good to name it, and then you go download, and then you can pick whether you want to do a JPEG, a PNG file, or a PDF. And you just pick whichever. If it's a JPEG, you just want to pick your quality of it. And then also publishing settings. These are more for print, so I would tell you if you don't have to worry too much about these publishing settings. This is more for print if you ever had to print something. But you can also pick the size that you want. So if you do want a web one, a thumbnail, a mobile one, you can pick those options right there, and then it will download multiple of this image right there. But I'm just going to pick JPEG right now. It's going to start the download. And then in just a few seconds, it's going to drop down on my computer. It just takes a little bit for it to formulate the file, and you'll see it come down. There it is. And then once it's downloaded, I'll just open the file, and there it is. So I can go ahead now and go post this onto Facebook here. So that's how easy it is to create a design. But let's do a little bit of a more complex one, because that one really was a curveball for me. I'm sorry, that was a softball, that one right there. Let's actually do a more complex one. So I'm gonna hit done right here. And I'm gonna do a different one here. So I'm gonna do a social post, but that one I told you about, the market snapshot.
Hey, Eddie, while you're doing the market snapshot on that, I did have one question as far as Facebook and trying to get that into a neighborhood.
Sure.
I know we need to be very specific. Is that where you would use your map and do the radius?
You mean?
If we were to try to pick a neighborhood and do a snap,
Yeah.
just pick the radius around.
This one, actually, you don't have to do it that way. Let me actually show you these market and neighborhood snaps. They're a little bit different in the way you do them. They're actually based on all the neighborhoods that are already inside of Command. So it's actually much easier to do these right here. So let's say that here is one, and let's say I want, it looks like it's Barton Hills here. So all I want to do is change that out to something else. So what I'm going to do is click that real quick. And so I have clicked it. And now I will go over here to KWLS, and up here is Snapshots. So then let's pick a neighborhood. I think there's one called, let's see if this one comes up really quickly. I might just pick that. Oh, here it is, the Trails in Frisco. This is the one I wanted. So then I can see the exact formatted one that is for the Trails of Frisco right here. So now that this one is highlighted here, all I have to do is hover over, and I'm going to look at that little thing where it says replace image, and it replaces it just like that. So now there's the Trails Frisco, and then I can just go into here and change the wording. So I can go click that real quick. I hit up here where it's the typewriter, and then things are heating up, and I can even just say Frisco because I already have up there. But if I could say, I could also say the Trails in Frisco. Save changes. And there it is right there. I might just need to make it a little bit bigger just to fit it in. Great. Now I'm going to change that DBA logo. So all I do is click on the DBA logo. There we go. I then go over here, click logos, replace the logo. There's Plano. All I have to do is just move it up right there. Perfect. And then maybe I just want to change a photo here. So I'm going to go like that, click that. And then what I can do is if I know a home that's in the trail, I can actually pull it up of the KWLS and go into listings and search by listings. Or maybe I have an image already and I'm going to go to add an image right here. And then from here, it's going to say Do you want to take it from Facebook, Facebook Store, Instagram, or you can upload one? I'm going to click upload. I have the image on my computer, and here it is right here. Image has been added on right there. So then now, because this one is highlighted, all I'm going to do is hover over it, and I'm going to hit replace image. And just give it a few seconds as it starts to figure itself out. Don't make it blurry. I kind of grabbed it there. But it'll become finer as it's just adding the image in. But you can see how easy it is that I just made this little market snapshot about a home in the trails right there, and added that snapshot and then added the image in there. Did you guys have any questions about that? I know that this does take some playing around, and it's actually kind of fun to play around because I can actually add different things in here. Like I can add text, I can actually add icons in there, and there's company icons, there's stock images in here too that I can add. Like maybe I wanted to add like an Instagram little thing, and then I can put that in there. I can add all these different little icons on there and play around and create different things. So any questions, guys? Very good. So let me show you one important thing that you guys should be doing inside of designs. And this is your buyer and listing presentations. I'm not going to go through all of it today because we do have a great video on the YouTube channel for that. But what we're going to do is go over just really a little bit of this setup right there. So that's going to be part of your print one. So this time, instead of when we're going to hit plus right here, we're going to go to print and hit next. So when you are doing your print files, this is for everything like flyers, like postcards that you can be designing. And you can see there's door hangers, postcards, flyers that you can design within here. But if we come down here to in your listings, you have your listing presentation, and you also, in your buyer, you have your buyer presentation in here. And I want you guys to play around with all these different things in here, but here's the listing presentation. When you pick listing presentation, you get a choice of whether you want to use the modern or the classic right there. I'm going to go ahead and use the modern. I'm going to pick modern right there. Now, the first time you do this, what you're going to be doing is putting your listing presentation together. That's going to be a template to use later on, where all you have to do is modify things. But the first time you do this, you do have to put this template together. And the way you put your template together is you just start adding the different pages that you want into your presentation. So I do want a cover sheet, so I'm going to hit that as number one. I don't want the instructions. I don't need the instructions here, but I'm going to add in the second page. And I am just going to go through all of these and add the pages that I want to add. Just keeping going through the process, just keep adding all the different pages that I want to add on there. Now, as you can see, let me move something real quick here. As you can see, down here, there is this little line down here. What you want to do is click this up where it says pages, and you'll see all the different pages that I've started adding onto this listing presentation. So then once I've added all the different ones that I wanted to add, that's when I go into the actual pages. I pick the page, and I want to start modifying it. And I can zoom in a little bit more to help me out. And then I'm going to bring that back down. And then what I can do is when I'm just going to actually update it with my information. So I want to change this beautiful lady's right here, her picture, and put my ugly mug on there. So I'm going to go in there and go to my images, my library, and there is my lovely mug right there. And I'm just going to click like that, and there it goes. it's added me in. And did you see what I just did? All I did was click on it and then replace the image. And then here I need first name. So I'm going to go click where it says first name, the keyboard typewriter up here. So I'm just going to go like that. Write Eddie. Save changes. Then I'm going to go last name. Do the same thing. Grass. Save changes. And then I'm just going to drag it in just so that it matches. And you can see these little lines that pop up. It's to help you guide so I can see that it is actually lined up together. And then I'm going to update all this information, update my logo. And so what I'm doing is creating the template. All this other stuff up here, like this photo and the names up here, they're just placeholders so that when I finally need to be using my presentation, all I have to do is switch those out with their home photo, their names in there. And then as I go through the different pages that I want to add on there, so I can go back to template, you're going to see that there's going to be a page for their home, the neighborhood, so I can do a snapshot in. So let me get to that one that's a snapshot. I think I've added it on. Nope, not yet. So I'm going to add that one on real quick. So then here's this one that's the snapshot. I'm going to zoom into this one too. Pull that down. And so now when I need to replace this snapshot right here, when I'm actually altering the template for the specific one, all I have to do is click on this again, go over KWLS, snapshots, and then look for the neighborhood, search for the neighborhood. Again, whatever neighborhood that is. Let's pick Trails again. And I'm going to look for the one in Frisco. There it is. And replace that image. There it is. And then all I have to do is keep altering everything by clicking on it for the text and going up to the typewriter. And you have the option to format it anyway, change colors anyway. You can add different things on there. But what I would like to tell you about these listing and buyer presentations that are inside of here, they are built to match your guides that are on your app. So this is going to teach your clients how to use their website and how to use the app. So it's an important tool to be using these because this is going to be more technology focused. I know that a lot of our listing presentations in the past have always been about giving them information about comparables and giving them information about you as an agent, but you also want to be providing them instructions on how to use your technology, because unless you're giving them these tools, they're not going to use the technology. So this is, you want to say, I want you to read over on how to use my website and how to use my app in these guides so that you too can take advantage of these powerful tools. So use that for your listing presentations, because that is going to make you stand out, that you are giving them the technology and the ways of using it and showing them how to use these things in there. So let me show you what I do once I've had this template built. So I'm going to go actually close. I'm not going to save this one. Don't save. And I'm going to go out, because once I've built the template, all I have to do is now on this main screen here, when I'm looking for it, I'm going to go to my print ones that I have built. Here is my buyer guide. So all I have to do is bring up my buyer guide. It pulls up, and then all I have to do is now it's already built. All of the pages are built. So now I just have to go to the pages that I need to customize. So I need to go into the second page, because there I have the name of the people, so I can change out for who it's going to be built for. Just go in there, click that, the typewriter, and then I can type in whoever it's for, and then all the other places I need to update, like neighborhoods and stuff like that for them. Any questions about the listing and buyer presentation? I know that that was a little quick, but what I want you guys to do is go into the KW Plano videos library and go into videos And there is a great video that's taught by Shalina right here and Parker. It's called Let's Build Buyer and Listing Presentations in Command Together. And they will take you through that in more details and building out those listing and buyer presentations. And there is going to be another class coming up in August that's going to be about building those, about doing certain things like that, like building your guides and building other things in August there. Any questions about that, guys? So,
yes. Okay, back on, if I wanted to advertise Keller Mortgage or download my app, and there's a template back in, previously you did it back here, I can create, the template's already there, and I would just attach that into my social media?
Yeah, so when you are doing, now that you've created the picture, then you would go back into campaigns, and then you would just, right here under campaigns, then you would go and create a new campaign using that image. And then a great one to use that for is, 1 second, as it builds. So a social ad paid. And then I would be doing one as an attract buyer, and then doing one about Keller Mortgage and writing something about Keller Mortgage. And you can always be saying things. You can actually always either use that image. You also can add images of homes and say, do you know that you could save on closing costs with your next home purchase? Contact me to discuss Keller Mortgage and how you don't have to pay lender fees and $1,000 toward your closing. So then that way you can build the ad right in here using that image that you created out of designs.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. So guys, I didn't get a chance to talk about emails, but I will promise you that we'll talk about emails in coming classes to build emails inside of there. There will be an email class that will be coming up in August too. But the last couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about are just 2 other tools for you to use in regards to what KW Plano provides for you. You do have access also to Michael Lewis for any of your business cards, hangers, flyers, brochures. So you can always design using their templates too. They do have a concierge there where at Michael Lewis so that you can always contact them, and they do your whole suite of print materials if you ever do need them. And then the last thing I did want to talk to you guys before I let you guys go today is Keller Offer. If you may have heard, Realtor.com has just signed with We Buy Homes, so give people the option for an iBuyer program through Realtor.com, just like Zillow has. So you guys need to be taking the Keller Offers training, and there is an email that I put on your checklist so that you can use Keller Offers as one of your tools. It doesn't mean that they are going to ultimately use Keller Offers as their choice. You just need to be able to discuss this, because when your client brings up iBuyer, you need to be able to have the arsenal to talk about, hey, we have Keller Offers too, and we can submit it through them, and if it's not the right choice, we can always continue in through the more traditional way of selling your home. So guys, that is what I have for you guys today for step 4. You do have some homework to do. I would plead for you guys to play around with referrals, play around with listings, and then also play around with designs and work on those. Hit that Command Genius bar if you have any questions. And then also next week, we're going to be finishing out step 5. Step 5 is going to be a review. I'm going to give you some standards of taking place, and also going to talk about the marketplace that's available for you inside of Command. And this is a whole set of apps that are in addition to the apps that are inside of Command that you can connect to Command so that you can continue customizing and making all those tools work for you. So thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you soon.
Great information. Thanks, Eddie.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Have a
great
good
job,
weekend.
Eddie. Thank you, sir.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.